even if you have missed something, today we are again going little intense and deeper with a clear understanding. You see, the ladder takes us up also and down also. Ladder. We can step up, we can go down, we can fall. And that is why we have to live wisely.
Wisely.
We
Sorry.
have to live wisely. Very good. Yes. Ashok, it's very important for you to live wisely. So now what happens? What happens when we are not living wisely? We encounter unfavorable circumstances. We are craving for some desires to be fulfilled. We find the bondage is there, the limitedness is there. We find a sense of delusion takes over the mind, and we are intensively attached. Understand in a different way. So that what happens, I'm taking a step by step on a ladder, and soon any of these factors puts us down. We find unfavorable circumstances, and then we close our room and we want to stay there. Aloofness, loneliness, anxiety, duality, conflict. Because I'm seeking, I have a craving for something outside in the world. That brings me down, and that creates a bondage. Bondage creates a limitation in the mind. Limitation causes the delusion. Delusion is caused by the intense attachment. And then we find this beer guy is crazy. He does not understand my problem, and I cannot reach to that state. It is all a dream and a fantasy. Look at how masters have explained. So, living wisely, now reverse that statement. Living wisely means absence of unfavorable circumstances. Or if there is a problem comes, let me take it as an opportunity. The problems are bound to come. Can you tell me anyone who has no problems, who will never die? So we have to now, what is the reason? Let us contemplate this daily for about a week. Sit down and ask two questions. What effort we are putting in this journey? What is the degree? What is the intensity? What is the commitment? And what effort we could have put in the journey? Did you understand the two? Oh no, who cares? I will do it later. And then unfavorable circumstances goes deep into my head. And that causes the problem. That causes the problem. Now see a logical sequential statement. So what happens? It is happening because of my thoughts. You know? No, 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 I have lot of anxiety. And no, I have lot of craving. I don't want to go. I just want to lie down. These are the thoughts. So what should come in the next step? That I should understand the ways my mind is thinking. What effort I am putting in this journey, and what effort I could have put into this journey. There's a big gap. So when there is a big gap, I'm not living wisely. I'm not living wisely. And everything is happening because of my thinking. So the master says you have two ways of thinking. So how to recognize there are two ways of thinking? Simply, if I have a confusion in the mind, tension in the mind. What is tension? One thought goes in this direction, the other thought is going in this direction. So opposing thoughts, that creates a tension. It is the same language we use in physics, tension. So this is one way of the wrong thinking. And what is the right thinking? Right thinking, you just attended the session, you browsed it and opened the internet, and that thought has gone. I go to the restroom, so I land up there, and thought has come. It is, it has created a desire. Desire is fulfilled. Act. So knowledge, desire, and action. All the three are done. 90% of our life in physical world, we are doing it wisely. So the moment it means, what is the wrong thinking? If it is creating a conflict, a confusion, a sense of anxiety, I should instantly sit down. Let me find out what is the right way to think wisely, to have a right desire, and translate that into action so that my mind should remain empty, calm, relaxed. Am I clear? So when we understand these three steps, we start living wisely. When you are living wisely all the time, you are the highest level of a seeker. And when we are highest level of a seeker, then the journey goal is not too far. So now in the same sequence, let us see what is the fourth point. So the moment mind is confused, I have a wrong thinking. Wrong thinking means, conflict is there, the confusion is there, and because of that, unfavorable circumstances there, limitation is there. I feel those limitations in my mind. I feel the anxiety in my mind. I feel the depression in my mind. You see the application. So the master says it is happening because of our egoistic personality. We have created an individuality around unfavorable circumstances, bondage, limitation, delusion. That is the only reason. There is no other reason. We become poor. Poor does not mean that we do not have money. Poor in spirit, poor in mind, suffering from unfavorable circumstances. That I am perceiving. I am perceiving that individuality. It contracts my mind. It contracts my whole life. And that causes lot of challenges in our life. So either we drop that ego, we drop the wrong thinking, we start living wisely. We start living wisely. So now see, we are going further. So it means if I have to drop that egoistic nature, which is the cause of my suffering, so I have to approach near to the existence. I have to break all the limitations, unfavorable conditions that I'm feeling in my mind every moment because I'm living consciously. So living consciously means living wisely. Now you all are seekers, so I have to go a little deeper. So I think that all my five sense organs are intact. Yes. Am I able to think? Yes. Can I see the problem objectively? Yes. The moment you see that, then you realize what effort you could have put to avoid, to reject any mental or physical suffering. Another way to understand living wisely. I'm coming to the main topic. Oh, main topic has yet to start, yes. I'm just preparing a background for that. So, as a human being, we can all think consciously, we can all understand. So, that brings us a question: who can become a seeker? Sequentially, step by step. And we already know it. If you have forgotten, I'll remind you it is discernment, dispassion, six treasures, and intense desire for freedom. It starts with the discernment, dispassion, then you have a six treasures, followed by when you have an intense desire for freedom from the suffering, and you support that in your mind, in your intellect, then you will realize what effort you could have put into this journey. Huh? That makes a sense. So in Eastern wisdom, silently, openly, in every master talks about these four practices, and the first is the discernment. So we are going deeper into the discernment today. That is our topic. Discernment, we already know. Discernment should happen in the mind, in my intellect, through understanding how to extract the real self from the body. You cannot do it physically. You have to do it mentally with the right knowledge. So one of the deeper aspects of this discernment is there are 5 criteria. You need not to believe it blindly, but remember this. We are going to work in few of these sessions, in the following sessions, on the 5 criteria of discernment, 5 criteria of dispassion, 5 criteria of calmness, of peace. So once you start thinking along these lines, Eastern wisdom promises you start living wisely, you start living in peace, you start living in calmness. How many of you thought, oh no, I know the discernment? No, we are going deeper into the discernment. So those 5 criteria, first criteria is the cause. Ask your mind the cause of a thought that has entered into the mind. Now I've been attending your session, but my honey is not changing. Oh, that is why you are attending all these sessions. So I have to be very clear about why. It is for me. I have to change myself. I have to change. If I do not change myself, nothing is happening. So now we are living wisely at a little higher level. People come to me, I got married, so I'm attending your session. And then, can you help my honey who does not want to talk to you? I say, how can I help? Who got married? The cause is very important. So I have to simply find out. No, I'm feeling anxiety and no, I have to find out the cause first. What is the cause? Second is the nature of the knowledge. Second criteria is the nature. Nature of knowledge. And what is the nature of knowledge? The moment first you find the cause, and once you find the cause, then look at the nature of that thought, whether it is showing me the real or unreal. It is showing me the delusion or it is showing me the reality. Am I searching the water in the mirage, or I know that it's a mirage water, it does not exist? The moment you live into that state of awareness, you will discover that anxiety does not exist. The duality does not exist. Unfavorable conditions do not exist. Second criteria. The third criteria is the effect. We already know the effect of anxiety, anger, hesitation, duality, and a conflict. So I have to learn from my experiences and apply the discernment effect. I have to check that effect all the time. That is the meaning of I'm living wisely. Whether I'm living outside, living in a relationship, living at work, anywhere. Well, while driving. Saturday and Sunday, I was driving to Mount Lemmon, and Mount Lemmon, people in Arizona know it. The 75 is the speed. The mind was tempting me. Now, no, it's okay. Go ahead. Simple way, simple to live wisely. So I drove with the speed limit and went there, spent a couple of hours. Sometime what happens, we say, no, if I have stayed for about a week, what will happen? Your mind will go back to the same stuff again. So we spent a couple of hours, and effect is very important. So the first is the cause, second is the nature. I'll give you those examples. Second is the nature, third is the effect, and the fourth is when I have started living wisely, I have to move towards perfection. Where is living in the perfection? You see the logical, the way our masters. So what is the criteria? What is the tagline? What happens when we live wisely? And how do I know that I'm living wisely? Living in the world, but the world does not live in me. That will keep your mind all the time free. A spark deep inside your heart will awaken, that will guide your life. That is what you can say the spiritual life. So that is known as the fulfillment. Fourth criteria. And the fifth criteria is the result. What is the result? Your mind will have a sense of anxiety because of certain thoughts, and now you are living wisely. What is the result? That discernment results into dispassion. Oh, anxiety. Thank you. No, I have little heaviness, but it's okay. It's okay. You get rid of all the thoughts of negativity, of anxiety, of duality, and a conflict. Five criteria: the cause, the effect. What happened? Okay, we'll continue. So the cause is the first, nature is the second, effect is the third, fulfillment is the fourth, and the result is the cause, nature, effect, fulfillment, and the result. Always remember this. Now I'm angry over you. I know the cause. Cause may be delusion. So I have to face the effect if I continue to be agitated and continue to agitate others. Where is the sense of fulfillment? So I told you in the beginning, the bondage, unfavorable circumstances, limitations, delusion, and the suffering takes over your life because of we do not understand one or more than one of these five criteria. What is the cause, nature? Cause, you are responsible for my suffering. So I'm very clear in discernment. No, no one is the cause of my suffering. I am. The way I'm perceiving the world, the way I have taken something, no situation, no person comes to me and that person says, okay, are you ready? I'm giving you some stress today. I'm giving you some reaction. I'm giving you some anxiety. No one says, no, but you are responsible. So it is my interpretation. Cause, nature, effect, fulfillment, and the result. So what happens when we are living wisely? Our intellect chooses a point of departure. It simply departs from where we realize unfavorable circumstances is there, bondage is there, delusion is there, we drop it. And how long it takes you to drop it, depending on the intensity of my living wisely. Understand the very cause of discernment is inside you. Let us pick up a few more points. Cause of the discernment is inside your mind. If the mind is pure, clear, it will start with the cause. Teacher is a catalyst. Outer situations are opportunities, good or bad. Problems are opportunities. Sufferings are opportunities. Don't start thinking being single or married or divorced or otherwise. No. Every situation is an opportunity to evolve, to rise into a next level of living wisely. Cause. What is the nature of this discernment? Now, think of this nature of discernment. That nature of the discernment constantly reminds you whatever is changing in this life is unreal. It is impermanent. It will come and go. Anxiety has come, it will go. Thank you, mind. You have given me an opportunity to endure. Nature of that discernment. So your mind is already filled with an inspiration. That is the nature of discernment. That your intellect, your mind never leaves what is real. What is real? Peace. Where peace lies, peace is my essential nature. Nature. of the viveka. What is the effect of viveka? You are learning from your experiences every day what is real and what is unreal. The mind is available to apply the logic, and the moment you apply that logic, the mind stops the wrong thinking. When it stops the wrong thinking, that anxiety is gone. I can bet you if you follow these. The fourth one is the perfection or the fulfillment. What is the perfection of that discernment? You are living, we all are living in the same world of impermanence. Do you think that at my home nothing is changing and at your home everything is changing? See that? That is the wisdom. No, everywhere everything is changing. So living daily our life amid impermanence, changing people, place, time, things, objects. So what will happen? The mind will have a deeper insight. And what will be the result of this viveka? Gives rise to a natural state of dispassion, natural state of emotional freedom. Viveka, perfection. If you say the result of the viveka is calmness, joy, peace, happiness. Let us close your eyes. And so we will follow these five criterias for our journey. First, position of the body, position of the body, eyes closed. Follow discernment. Previously, your eyes were open, now your eyes are closed. Now you are conscious of the body. Previously, not fully. See, apply the discernment with all these five criteria. With all these five criteria, I have to close this. What is happening? Yes. So, with that, let us move to the second step. I'm still using being comfortable. Being comfortable. Now, you see comfort versus discomfort. We are going a little deeper into what we discussed today. So, that is what the discernment is. So, when I say look at the neck joint, be there means what? The mind gets more time to see, to be aware, and then what happens? Our experiences, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So again, comfort versus the discomfort. You see, every activity we apply the discernment. You have to awaken to that power. No, I feel a kind of discomfort in a particular part of the body. And I have already answered what effort you are putting into this journey and what effort you could have put into the journey. Okay. So you don't get a opposite feeling, oh, I have to endure and I have to cry. No, you separate it. Move the mind on the entire body, be there, experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And now being carefree. But what happens, thoughts keeps on changing. And we live into that state of awareness where there is a firm conviction that thought keeps on changing. Yes, and what is changing is not me. What is changing is not me. So, what we are doing, real versus unreal. Oh, this thought of anxiety has come, but it is changing. A moment ago, it was not there. A thought of pleasure has come. It was here now. It is not there before. And normally, we have been doing being carefree, let the thought come, let it go. No, we add wisdom there. And then we have what I said, the traditional way, mantra, sarvesham swastir bhavatu. It is not going to create any conflict, no conflict by the mantra. So why not we use the mantra at the times of the conflict and the confusion in the mind? Mentally, you are doing it at workplace, you're living in the family, your relations or situations. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Let there be a well-being for all. Is your intellect going well-being for all? So what is that? We recognize. Again, I can go in detail, but I'm restricting recognition. Cognition means knowing, and again, I am recognizing. So what happens when you live wisely? You remember all the time. There is no need to recognize. The moment you chant the mantra, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, that impulsive, reactive mind against that so-called unfavorable situation calms down. Oh, unfavorable situation calms down? No, your mind calms down. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let there be peace for all. Peace is our essential nature. We have discussed this in detail, that every living species on this earth, consciously, unconsciously, impulsively, animally seeking peace. Whether they know it or we do not. So the best part of the journey is that I know I'm seeking peace. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Let there be wholeness in all, wholeness. You see again the discernment. So how we discern? By example, the mango tree does not want to be any other tree. Why I want to become like somebody else? Why shouldn't I recognize that wholeness in me? When I have already understood the peace, happiness, love, and wisdom are already within me, why am I not seeking that? When the discernment is 100%, meditation succeeds. Succeeds means end result. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Auspiciousness, in auspiciousness, peace, knowledge follows the peace and the wholeness and the well being. Oh, they already are my essential nature. It is because of my thinking and perceiving wrongly the outer situations, people, and relations causes the unfavorable condition in my life. Why should I go for it? Why should I have a wrong thinking? And in that state, look deep inside the heart. I'll be changing the practice after a few more sessions. So, looking deep inside the heart in the space, that helps my mind to follow the wisdom. And there I drop Om Shanti, Om Shanti, and then start breathing quick and short breath from both the nostrils into the rib cage or into the belly. Let us do it into the belly. That will also have a more impact. Breathing through belly, quick short breath. The belly goes out. When you inhale, it's a little longer breath, longer than but longer. Continue, continue. Little longer breath. Let us follow these chains in the practice. It is not short, it's a little longer breath. You inhale into the belly, continue doing Om Shanti, and keep the body steady. Keep the body steady. You inhale into the belly, you exhale from the belly. Inhale and exhale. What effort I'm putting and what effort I could have put. I'm reminding you, So if the mind is challenging you, you challenge the mind. No, I will continue. I will endure. And stop this, do nothing. We will again check. I told you the five criteria of the discernment. We'll see the effect. Move the mind on the body outside. Experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move it couple of times. So that sensation means everyday affair. It will become everyday affair. You may feel the tingling sensation or numbness or cold, heat, which will be a normal set of experiences, which will give you a tremendous power to the mind. Oh, this is what I can do it consciously. Whenever I have anxiety or sensation is there, a sense of relaxation is there, and stillness is there. And now look inside the head and the neck. Feel the sensation and the space. So they are signatures. Sensation is calmness inside, and the space is quietness. We should not create any uh, delusion about the sense of quietness or calmness. Look inside the right arm, out, explore any sensation in the space. They represent the calmness and the quietness. Inside the left arm, space and the quietness. Quietness, space, and calm. And you discover that. Fulfillment. So you know consciously that I'm making a progress. Inside the middle portion of the body. Calmness and quietness. So, calmness, I'm referring if you find any sensation because you are becoming aware of that sensation. Awareness of that sensation confirms the mind is living within. Mind is living within causes calmness. Simple. Sometimes people say that, my heart is racing. That is what I felt. No, my mind is living with it. Normally, in 99.9 cases, it is the mind living within. We have a feeling as if the mind is racing, the heart is racing, but it is not. Mind has approached very near to the heart, means the mind is living within. Inside the right leg, calmness and quietness. Inside the left leg, calmness and quietness, and entire body inside. Now, inside, you go to the spine, start moving the mind. First, you move the mind in the spine from top to bottom, and bottom to the tailbone to the top of the head, crown of the head, tailbone, crown of the head. And then start breathing deep, silent, and slow. Then start singing the mantra. Then know the meaning of the mantra Om Shanti and get absorbed into the space. Every time the breath goes in, the mind moves from the crown of the head to the tailbone, singing Om Shanti, and you are aware. Do you see clearly that being aware of all the five factors in the nyasa, is it living wisely? Yes. At the same time, what effort, I'm repeating, what effort you put into the journey, what effort you could have put into the journey. That makes a big difference. And then leave the step also. Look inside the heart in the space. Visualize the equilateral triangle pointing upward. Move the mind on each side and drop Om Shanti on each side. Move it slowly. Why we are moving slowly? We are checking if the mind can go with me. Slowly and gently, not running. So all the three sides, Om Shanti, couple of times in a clockwise and anti-clockwise. And then continue. And then we know at the center. As if we are moving the mind within, deep inside, or the cave of the heart, singing Om. And we find, as if the mind seemingly stops, it found the end of the cave. There we drop Shanti, we do nothing. When the Viveka is 100%, the knowledge reveals within. But that knowledge reveals is what I call the spark. Just for the sake of understanding, it has nothing to do with the electric spark. So when you find an absorption, you need not to move the mind on a triangle. You need not to even do the Om Shanti. Self-absorption, awareness is there as if you are waiting in that silence for revelation. Shanti. Mind is running anywhere? Apply the 5 criteria of cause. So you see that? Your mind knows the cause of the wandering. So we can separate from our wandering mind. Why? I'm not the mind. So cause results into the understanding of the nature, awareness of the nature. What is the nature of the discernment? Real and unreal. What is changing, unchanging? What will be the effect? You know, so at least you are dissociated yourself from the jumping mind. Dissociated here and now. Their mind has no reason to complain. And then comes the fulfillment and the result. Well, I'll talk in detail so that the things will become clear. Yes, do nothing. You're already doing nothing, but for the sake of understanding, what is the result, you know it. I'm adding one more point here. The result of the cause of this result that you are experiencing, viveka or the discernment, is 90% and practice is 10%. I don't believe. Continue doing it, you'll believe. You'll realize. That is why we say meditation or mindfulness is a non practice. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside, know your experiences, bring the hands down. In fact, I wanted to start this session with an example where anesthesia translates in her language the entire group on Mondays. So anesthesia knows, so I don't want to name that beautiful girls. Girls are always beautiful, you already know. So just to cite an example, I said that all husbands are crazy. And anesthesia knows she shared her experiences. She told all of us, the entire group, that I was so much relieved when you said husbands are crazy. I said, this isn't, you have taken everything literally. And then she told us that I went into deep meditation, isn't it, anesthesia? She said, I went very deep into meditation because I was so much relieved. You said my all husbands are crazy. That is why we need these 5 criteria. I'm not going to teach them these advanced ways. You see, simple example. Do you understand? How are you, Stephen?
Good. A good experience, great meditation, extremely fast. I felt myself on at a very, very deep level. It was there were moments in which it was as if I was sleeping because there were no thoughts, there was nothing going on, and then it was almost like my mind took over, brought me out of that deepness, but it wasn't thoughts or things running through. It was like, okay, I'm going through this checklist in my mind. Like, am I sitting straight? Am I, am I doing the right things? Am I comfortable? So all that was going on. I was like, yeah, I'm in meditation and this is great. I'm happy and I'm going to go back. And I fell back into that depth of quietness, calmness, and happiness.
Beautiful. That is what it should happen. Even if the thoughts are coming, what the discernment says, I'm none of these thoughts. One thing we should be very clear. You stop thinking, you cannot exist, even for a day. Thought has an element of desire, and that desire keeps the body moving. But it does not mean the other way. That we will talk. It's a beautiful. How are you, David and Jerry?
Very, very, very good. It was like no other experience. It was extremely deep, extremely calm, peaceful, vast, vast open space. And, just realize the power of the consciousness over the mind to just, stay within. And it's just, it was just wonderful. Thank you.
Beautiful, yeah. You see, we don't realize the power of consciousness. Why? I have already started the session with that. When we find unfavorable condition, we say, I'm living in unfavorable condition. How can I reach there? But who causes this? The mind or the individuality or the ego. Look at it. Look clearly. Look does not mean that you are looking in different colors. You're looking inside your head. And you see the life will change. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, very deep. Went by fast, and I enjoyed the lesson and diving deeper into the discernment. I feel like it's kind of indifference. Like we go back to the hot plate. Like we know the plate's hot. We're completely indifferent to it. We don't even think about touching it. We don't care it's hot. And then in like the workplace, if somebody's constantly touching that hot plate, they have less role. We kind of, like you said, disassociate or become indifferent because we're on a different, we need to keep moving. We're evolving. And sometimes others are stuck for a bit, but they'll move or they won't.
Yeah. It's a beautiful, yeah. Dissociation is not done by an effort. If I touch your body, I have to dissociate physically. But dissociation of that mind which reflects unfavorable condition, bondage, limitation has to be done inside. And that is where the power of discernment works. How are you, Vaibhav?
So I'm good. It was deep. Started feeling light, very light, totally absorbed.
Beautiful. I'm enjoying that you all are sharing experiences. Did you hear that I told you the result of deeper meditation? The role of discernment is 90%. Practice is only 10%. Did you hear that? That is what is, that is how I understand. How are you, Brandy?
Good, thanks. I appreciated the two reminders today about the goal here is that we're seeking peace, and it's the effort. How we kind of take measure of the effort to get to that peace. But I think sometimes my mind presents like, oh no, it's the discernment's so complicated, right? But that's my mind. My mind's saying like, don't
Yeah.
do that, because then I can't be behind the wheel. So yeah, it was clear like Monday. My meditation was good. Thanks.
We have already complicated our life because of the mind. And the same mind says, no, discernment is complicated. You see, we have to discern there also. There is nothing except, oh, I live into that awareness. Finished. How are you, Samir?
Sir, it was very, I would say it was means meditation took over all my thoughts, and there was meditation only means I was in peace.
Yeah.
And I was in awareness, and just no thoughts, nothing at all. Nothing.
Yeah. The first phrase tells the story. The meditation has taken over me. Mind takes over me, or meditation has taken over me. You see, it tells the entire story. Sometimes we may not have those words to express, but it gives a deeper meaning. How are you, Sam? Oh, I thought you are raising your hand. Okay.
No. The breathing exercise made me feel very warm, and then the rest of the meditation cold. But overall, very deep state, blankness.
Yeah.
I similarly wasn't sure if I was asleep or not, because it was so deep, so thoughtless.
Yes. These experiences are wonderful when we feel as if I fall into sleep, but I'm still aware. That indicates the deeper state and the blankness. You see, I want to add one more point. This blankness is always there. Why? It does not belong to me. It belongs to the mind. And I'm not the mind. Discern it. Stephen, just discern it. It doesn't belong to me. Noise of the fan doesn't belong to me at all. So we'll penetrate our mind deeper. How are you, Rakesh? We don't hear you. In the meantime, Ashok, we don't hear you, Rakesh.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Sir,
I'm also happy with the Ashok. He does namaste 2 times.
sir,
You people are,
it
I don't
was,
like people, yes, Ashok, yeah.
sir, while breathing, mind was going here and there. Then I asked myself,
Yeah.
breathe wisely. So then mind come inside.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was very peaceful and quiet.
Very peaceful and calm. You should say it. You should think in this way. The mind is confused. Why, mind? Why don't you live wisely? Come back.
Ji.
No, I'm saying everyone, I should say it in my mind. And then see what happens. Wonderful. How are you, Sangeeta? And then we'll go to anesthesia.
बीच में थॉट्स थोड़े पर
अब रेगुलर करना है. अब हम गहरी साधना में जा रहे हैं. She felt good, but some thoughts were there in the mind. Of regular karna hai. You have to practice regularly. How are you, anesthesia? Don't tell her that I told her, but I didn't tell her. I didn't tell the name of that beautiful girl.
Thank you. I'm good. I'm sorry for I'm late today because of these electricity issues.
Yeah, I could see that. I remember Elon Musk providing internet services to the entire Ukraine. So what happened? Maybe because of the internet. So my friends, take away what effort I'm putting into this journey, what effort I could have put into the journey. Can you think on this line? Can you think? When I'm not living wisely, I'm just using only the words, unfavorable condition in my life. Craving for a desire for happiness outside by a thing, bondage, limitation, delusion, attachment. When I'm not living wisely. That is all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.
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 Namaste.